I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right. Pick is in.
The Las Vegas Raiders with the 6th overall pick take Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty.
It is.
Wow.
It is Ashton Jeanty. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Ashton Jeanty out of Boise State, 5'9", 218 pounds. The Heisman Trophy runner-up. Max, how do you feel about this pick?
He's my number one second player on my board. He's a stud. He's a blue chipper. It's not the player. It's just the position and the team. I would say this about the Raiders. They're not bad off like the Giants. Their O-line is capable enough, I think, to open up run lanes for him. To me, it's just a little early, man. It's the 6th pick in the draft. He's a running back. And I think it takes kind of a special offensive line to maximize running backs in today's NFL. Saquon Barkley was as can't miss as any running back we've ever seen. And he was on the Giants. He was not that great because of why? Just the O-line, the offense wasn't there. Now, the Raiders have made moves in the right direction. They got Geno Smith. They have Jacoby Myers. They have Brock Bowers, who's special. This could take their offense to a new level. Pete Carroll loves to run the ball. It's a good pick. I'm gonna give it a B+. You know, it would be an A. It's just you could have maybe waited a couple more picks, but you're splitting hairs. So I like the pick. It's just a little scary because it's a running back one, and
it's just a money thing. It's a money thing and it's a value thing. Okay, you're gonna be paying a running back some pretty good money right here. Okay,
and then it also comes down to what do we do in 3 years? Do we give him more money?
Yeah. Look, the player, not a question here. There's no question that the player is elite. Okay.
Yeah, he's the number one player on your board.
He's my number one player on the board.
And you got him.
And we possibly got the best player in the draft. Okay. And that's just a fact. And for me, I'm going to grade it a B. Just a solid B because the Raiders are the Raiders. And I don't think
we're not a running position that scares you, bro.
And it's the Raiders are some ways from getting there. But look, let's just play devil's advocate here as far as what they're thinking. Okay, they're in the building every day, so they see what they got. Pete Carroll obviously loves Geno Smith. You have a quarterback that's capable of getting you to the playoffs. So that's number one. The offensive line. Jackson Powers-Johnson, he is solid as they come. He had a great rookie year. DJ Glaze, a solid right tackle. You have a Pro Bowl elite type tackle on the other side, and Colton Miller.
Who was banged up last year. I will give him that. He was banged up all of last year.
Dylan Parham, he's really good. The defense has Max Crosby, of course, and I feel like all throughout this draft, the Raiders need to go defense, the majority. Of course, get a receiver in there because they only have Jacoby Myers, but you have to go defense. You got the offense already identity. The Raiders' identity is going to be running the football. Pete Carroll wants to be the Seattle Seahawks back in 2015 around Marshawn Lynch. And who is comp to Ashton Jeanty's comp? Marshawn Lynch. So they want to run the football. They want to make the life easier for Geno Smith. Let's build up that defense. Let's make it even more easier. But the Raiders with Ashton Jeanty, it's just a money thing. It's a value thing. Love the player to death, bro. And I think he's going to score a lot of touchdowns. He's probably going to put up a lot of yards. So fantasy-wise, I love it. But as far as winning football games, Max, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. I don't know how much he's going to contribute to that as far as a difference maker. You get what I'm saying?
I do. I'm just thinking about if Mason Graham was here and Ashton Jeanty was there, do you run up the card for Mason Graham?
Yes, it's you? I think so. I think they would love Mason Graham.
I mean, it is, and anyone, just to play a little bit more devil's advocate here, it's, anyone, people are going to say this is such a deep running back class, and we know running backs kind of, their value can be minimized by the things around them.
Yeah.
So that's what's scary about this pick. And like I said, he's the number 2 player on my board. He's the number 1 player on your board. And we probably both seem a little pessimistic. But the nature of running backs taken high is just not something you really we know what they are. There's for every Saquon Barkley, there's like 2 Todd Gurleys, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a question mark of, it's not just about oh yeah, we have this great player. Is he going to be a great player in 4 years? Is he going to be able to get that second contract? And is he going to be able to be sustained?
Yeah.
Because right now, bro, I'm going to bet Ashton Jeanty's going to be on the field for 85% of the carries. Who else is going to take the carries away? You guys don't have a good second running back. So interesting.
Yeah, look, he's a bell cow though. I'm not worried about that. He's going to be
what I'm saying is you got to start worrying about it when it comes to, we're going to give this dude a second contract.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do.
Look, I would say this too. I feel like if Jeanty winds up working out and he's elite,
I think
and the Raiders, but the Raiders wind up he winds up being a difference maker as far as hey, the Raiders are a playoff team now, and the Raiders make the playoffs, and he's a big reason why. No one's gonna remember that they picked him at 6. No one's gonna care. We criticized the Jahmyr Gibbs pick. We actually criticized the Bijan Robinson pick after a year. But at the end of the day, those guys have proven that once you wind up building around them and you get something around them, they're worth it.
The only thing that's going to make this bad is if the Raiders do some Raiders stuff and the O-line just implodes, and then, he has no running lanes, and it's kind of like Saquon Barkley and towards the end in the Giants. And I got the pick for the next guy.
Big dreams, everything ain't what it seems. Glittering gold, both clean. Not on my team. This organic, we don't